Hey y'all, what is up YouTube? Sparky Marky Mark here, and I'm back to do a unboxing and of course a review. What kind of review, you say? It's on this envelope. No chit-chat, let's take a look. Well, I just opened it. There's nothing in here. The hell? Oh wait, here's what's in here. Came in this envelope and some double envelopes, whatever. And what is in this thing? Let's go to the man cave and take a closer look like now. Alright, so what was in that package that I opened? What the heck was it? A cartridge? What kind of a cartridge was it? Not a cassette. Oh wait. It's the Tetris. That's right, the Tetris. Any of you gamers and anyone who's played video games wouldn't be familiar with this name, do ya? The Tetris, or just Tetris? Anybody familiar with it? Well, let's discuss a little bit of its history, like right now, and get to the good details of the game. Alrighty. Going back as 38 years ago, from a Soviet software engineer named Alexei Petronov, if I said the name right, correct me if I butchered it or so. So designed it about 38 years ago in 1984. It has been published in several companies, multiple platforms, mostly during dispute over the appreciation of the video game rights in the late 80s. After significant publications and talks by a publication by Nintendo, the rights were reverted to Petronovich about approximately 7 years later. The rights were reverted back to him 7 years later in 1996. Who co-founded the Tetris company with Hank Rogers to manage the licensings for the rights. And this is what we've gotten over the years, and here it is, the way it is in the screen. So, Electronica 60 USSR, released in 1984 in the USSR in Moscow. Now it's known as Russia in 1984, and then IMBPC in Russia, USSR, but now it's Russia, Moscow, if you will. Released in 1986, and then in Europe in November of 87, and then North America in 1980, in January of 1988. So yeah, and you can see demonstration here. You got to make sure that the pieces would fit together in alignment to make sure they're added evenly. And you can tell the differences. And I might have seen these games over the many years, if I'm not mistaken. I didn't know much about it. And released in variations. Here's the Electronica 60 back then. What is this Electronica that was released in the late 80s in Russia at the time? I want to know they were competing with Nintendo back then. I'm not so sure of what. Then you got the IBM PC. Wow, even the graphics were insane back in those days. Even when you were just a kid or probably born at the time. Here's one of the early game systems of the Electronica 60. So developer Electronica, and this is one of their models back then, Electronica 60M. Released in the late 70s, 1978, discontinued in the late 90s of 1991. Operating system RT11, CPU M2, and then it had like memory chips of 4 gigabytes, and 16 BT words. And you could pause it very carefully. So yeah, these systems, I don't even know. It's being the fact that it's 31 years old and kind of like very hard to get. And let's see the next one. Oh, this is the IBM PC from the 1980s, 1984 to be exact. And I gotta say, the systems back then were kind of crazy in those days. The graphics were astonishing. And then here we have, around the time of 1988, it's part of, that was designed by Spectrum Holobyte, contained Russia-related images, AMIGA, Amiga version screenshot, 1988. Very significant moves in those days with the technology at that period. And you got the rights, Equations of Rights by Microsoft and Spectrum Holobyte. Wow. Even, of course, they got very crazy over the course of its release. And then we got it for the Game Boy, which indeed they had to convert the rights. And then around February, Soviet decided to negotiate with Org, if I said the name right, to like release it to the public, and a lot of it was a bit converting over the course of many months. And also by the summer of '89, Nintendo Atari Games began a legal battle in court in San Francisco at the time of the summer of '89. And then, of course, sought to prove that NES was a computer, or indicated by Japanese name Famicom. And then there's a lot of information. Apparently, Judge Fern M. Smith declared Microsoft and Spectrum Holobyte never received explicit authorization for the marketing on consoles around the summer of '89. Ruled in favor for Nintendo, granting them permanently injunction against Atari Games in the process. Next day, Atari Games withdrew its NES version from the sales. Thousands of cartridges remained unsold in the company's warehouse. Wow. I wonder how much is it? NRFB, if anybody know what that means, is never removed from box. I wonder how much is it. And at the time, and around, I don't even know when was this, around the spring of '89, Sega Genesis version of the Tetris, but it got canceled. There was going to be a release with Sega for the Tetris, but on the spring of 1989, which would be in April 15. Unfortunately, it got canceled because of its release during Nintendo and Atari's legal battle. Fewer than 10 copies were manufactured. Newport of the version 2 by M2. Of the version by M2 was included in the Sega Mini Micro console, released in the fall of 2019, in September to be exact. You could get that still, but the physical copy, only 10 of those existence, which is going to be sold like a lot of money, y'all. And here's the NES version for the an image of the NES version for the Atari. The Tetris, sorry. The Tetris is what we're discussing here, folks. That's right. And then it's suddenly in various versions. In the iPod, which is the 5th generation iPod on the Tetris in 2006. I wasn't aware of none of these games, of the existence of this Atari, until I did my research and looked at the details. And I played some over the years. Kind of maybe in the alphabetical orders of easy and hard. And the music, well, the earliest versions of the Tetris had no music. And of course, the version included 2 musics by a composer named Haruska. I can't even say that name right. But can anyone correct me on that name? I mean, I can't even say the name right. I don't speak much of Japanese. This name, Hirokazu Tanaka composed the music with the arrangement of Dance of the Sugar Plums, Dance of the Sugar Plum Fairy, from the second act of The Nutcracker, composed by Tchaikovsky, if I said the name right. I can't even say the name right. The Tangine version also features original music and arrangement by Klinika Kostushi. I can't even say that name right. 1860s Russian folk tune. Again, I can't even say that name. And then there's the Spectrum Holobytes 1980 version of the Tetris. Together, Dark Eyes and Poloshinovsky, Pole, and the Bitch Tree. Seriously, this is what they did with these musics. And you could just pause it very carefully. And then its legacy, it's got a lot of vibes. The C64 only has about 3 stars. 4 stars for the arcade. Macintosh, about 4 stars. 5.5 stars in the NES Tengen, and then NES Nintendo, about 5.5 stars. Crash rate at 77%. CVG 94%, and then you got like a 10 stars on the Sinclair user, and then your Sinclair 9 out of 10. Double Z-Zap 64, 98%, Ace 95%. And of course for the awards, Z-Zap 64 gold medal, and Sinclair user SU Classic, all the awards. Wow. And the legacy continues on. And then there was a hoax in circulations in the winter of 2019, in February, that the original NES instruction manual for the Tetris had named 7 Tremonian, something, I can't even say that word right, with the names like Orange Ricky, Hero, Smash, and Smash Boy, but was disproven despite being disproven by the video game historian. A question on October 7th of that year in 2019, airing on Jeopardy, alluded these names. And now for the sale, I'm not going to say box office, since I don't even know why I'd rather say the grossing amount of money for the PCs, versions of the personal computer PCs, sold under $150,000 copy for about $6 million, which is about 114 million adjusted dollars for inflation, if I said that name right. And then 2 years later, between 1988 and 1990, Tetris gained greater success in the release of the Nintendo version, and then you got the Game Boy version in 1989. 6 months later, by 1990, the NES version sold approximately 1.5 million copies, grossing $52 million, adjusted for inflation, $114 million today. While Game Boy bundles of the Tetris sold 2 million units, it topped Japan's sales charged during the summer and the fall of 1989. From the holiday seasons of 1989, from December and then January of 1990, Tetris became the top-selling game, top-selling for the first few months of 1990. So yeah, Nintendo's version of Tetris went on to sell $7.5 million. 7.5 million copies in the U.S.A. around by 1992. More than 20 million worldwide by 1996. Nintendo eventually sold a total of 35 million copies for the Game Boy, 8 million for the NES. Wow. How many is there, y'all? Wow. Wow. Sega arcade version of the Tetris also successful in Japan, where it became the highest grossing game of the late 80s of 1989. Spectrum Hollow Bytes, if I said it. PC versions of the Tetris sold in only more than 1 million copies in 1995, with women accounting for nearly half Tetris players, in contrast to most of the other PC games. Around the winter of 2010, January that is, the Tetris franchise sold more than 107 million copies, including 70 million physical copies and over 100 million copies for cell phones, making it one of the best-selling video game franchises of all time. As of 2011, the Tetris has sold 132 million paid mobile game downloads of that time period. So, around the spring, or dare I say, Alright, around April 2019 in the spring, the Tetris 99 has been published through worldwide while associating with Nintendo Switch Online. Tetris 99 has sold more than 9.8 million accounts globally from the subscription. Wow. And now, over the course of some years, there have been talks about a film adaptation from the game. Could have been the documentary game or the making of the game. Who knows? And there have been talks, even, of course, in 2010, short animated film for Tetris appeared in 2010 short animated film. And then there was the film Pixels in 2015. Inspired by the former. I don't give a shit. I like Pixels because it has Adam Sandler, video games, classics of all time. And then in 2014, announced that Threshold Entertainment had teamed up with the Tetris company to develop a Tetris, the movie, a film adaptation of the game. But Threshold's CEO described the film as an epic sci-fi adventure story that would be the first part of a trilogy. But around 2016, sources reported on a press release claiming that the film would be shot in China in 2017 with an $80 million budget. Whoa. However, no. In 2017 or later on, so on, sources confirmed that the film ever eventually went into production. Sorry that, folks. So the film wherever went, we don't even know. Nobody even knows when this film will ever be in production. Never got into production or went into production or pre-production. Who knows? So, the movie title, Tetris, and the legal battle surrounding the game in the late 80s was announced in 2020, and the star Taron Egerton as the character of Hank Rogers would be playing a role in that film, but we don't even know. That is one big mystery that could not be answered for. And then there's a documentary about the game and its history, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Ecstasy of Order, The Tetris Master, a 2011 documentary about the 2010 Classic Tetris Worldwide Championship, featuring interviews with the creators, Planetov and Richard Heirer, if I said the name right. And then there's a book about it, covering Nintendo's history, including interviews with the creator of Tetris and others regarding the licensing rights. And then there's another book or something called Brain, Wall, and Blocken, if I said Blockland, if I said, I can't even say that name. Game show based on Tetris. So, wow, that's a big history about Tetris. So yeah, folks, that is all there is to know about what's going on in the world of Tetris. And I've been hearing rumors for some time that Tetris will be getting a film adaptation, but I can't even not know when is it gonna happen. I don't know the mystery about it. I don't know the concept behind it. It's just a mystery that whether or not it'll be adapted into film. So yeah, what do you guys think? You think Tetris should be adapted into a film? Who knows? Maybe it's the story. It should be based on a true story about the gaming rights. So yeah, that's all there is to know, folks. So anyway, let's give a demonstration on this game. And how am I going to play it with? I'll show it to you right away. Well, with all that history and talk out of the way, so here it is at its fullest. Classic cartridge. Thank God it came with its plastic. Made in Japan. Nice, nice, nice. Officially Game Boy Link Game Pack. Now, how am I going to play this game anyway? With this. That a Game Boy Color but in silver? How did I get this? I got it from a site called Body Pixel. Is it Boxy Pixel? The link will be in the description box down below. So it's the Boxy Pixel. Very nice detail and everything. Don't you all think? And it's fair, and be gentle with this. It's a good one. And it took some time to get here. I bought this like 2017-ish. Or I got this during the pandemic. They did a great detail customizing a good Game Boy. And you can charge it. So yeah. With all that out of the way, let's play the game. Good times, y'all. Alright. Let's play the game. Pick type A in the original music. Wicked, everybody. Whoa, man. Up to 29 lines. Well, I believe that's it for now. Let me play one more. Heck. Well, everybody, what do you all think of this game? Is it worth it or not so? Don't give a damn. It's fun to play once in a while, you know. Sorry for that. But even new generations of today would even like to understand more of this. And it is indeed a unique game in its own way. So let me know in the comments what you think so far of this game. You know, is it like a new way to like let other young generations for many years to like know about this game? I mean, it is indeed a great game. Been around for like 38 years, but in the US, in Russia, but here in the USA, 32 years. Make that 33 years now in the US because heck, three of my pals were born that time period. So yeah, folks, even a homegirl was born in 1989. One of my homegirls. So yeah. Anyways, let's give a shout-outs to Retro Video Game Pickups and other YouTube gamers. Shouts to you all, including the physical media collectors, toy collectors. Shouts to you all, even my fellow subscribers. So anyways, this is Sparky Marky Mark signing off. Y'all take care. God bless you. Catch you on the next vid.